Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be showing you guys my current base routine. So base includes the foundation, concealer, powder, blush, highlight routine, just how I like to apply it. This video is also sponsored by KohGenDo, and I'm going to be showing you guys their new foundation brush. It is the perfect foundation brush that they just launched. So if you would like to see how I get my base makeup, then just keep on watching. So I'm gonna jump right into this video. First, I like to start by priming my skin. For my skin, I kind of like to use smoothing primers because smoothing primers slightly act as a barrier for oily skin, just a little bit, because it kind of fills in those pores, smooths it out, and doesn't get as oily as when I don't do anything at all. So I'm gonna go in with my primer. I'm gonna apply this starting at the center of my face, because that's where I wanna smooth the most. We wanna avoid the brows. People see the center of your face first and then they pay attention to like the cheek area, so I like to start with the center and work outwards. See, as you can see, like from before and after, smoothing primers kind of just make the skin matte in a way. It's like a healthy matte though. And then next for foundation, I'm going to be going in with the KohGenDo, which I cannot believe that I've been saying that wrong. I normally say KohGenDo, and I recently found out that it is pronounced KohGenDo. And this is one of my favorite, absolute favorite foundations. This is the Aqua foundation. So I start by applying foundations either directly to the skin or I'll apply it to the back of my hand. And the reason why I will apply it to the back of my hand is if I want to make sure that I go in with a light application of the foundation. When I take the foundation and I directly pump it to the skin, or whatever the case may be, if it's like a spatula foundation, sometimes I apply too much of the foundation, and then when you apply too much, it's a lot harder to take away than it is to build. So by applying the foundation on the back of your hand, it gives you the ability to layer the foundation and you can customize your coverage. The star of the show today is actually the new KohGenDo foundation brush. Now this thing almost feels like silk when you run your fingers across the brush. It's a brush unlike anything I've ever felt before, and it has a synthetic fine tip that is designed to fit foundation and powders on the sides of pores and fine lines. So that technology to fit it on the sides and not fill in the pores and the lines, it reflects light to blow away the shadows that can give the look that your skin has those imperfections of those lines and pores. So when I apply the foundation, I kind of like to start in the cheek area and around the region of the mouth. And the reason why I do that is because I want most of my coverage down here because I don't have a whole lot of problem areas on my forehead. So I'm really working to get that foundation covered on the bottom half of my face, and then like whatever's left over I will blend on my forehead area. So you can use this foundation brush with liquids and powders. So if you prefer to use a powder foundation, this foundation brush will blend it seamlessly. It also can be used as a finishing brush. So for an example, if you like to blend in your foundation with a sponge, you can go back over that foundation after you've blended it in with a sponge and just work it in with this brush, because you can use this as a finishing brush. Now that is a tip that I actually learned from magazines with makeup artists when they share their tips. I don't remember which specific makeup artist because I've heard that tip so many times, but using the combination of sponges and brushes gives a really nice seamless finish. So you can also use it that way, but it is really awesome as like a brush by itself as well. Another thing about KohGenDo that I don't think a lot of people know, that they are cruelty free, and I know that is important for a lot of people. I actually know a lot of people that are only cruelty free, so that's really awesome. So this brush really blends in the foundation like super quick, so you don't have to spend a whole lot of time, and that foundation is amazing in itself. So it really gives you like a skin-like finish with the blend of the foundation. The foundation shade is pretty spot on, and the brush just blended it in so nice. If you guys want to check out this foundation brush, I will have a link to it in the description box where you guys can check it out. Right after foundation, I like to go in with a concealer, and I'm going to use a concealer that is very close to my skin tone. And the reason why I never use my foundation as like my concealer underneath my eyes is because typically foundations, when you bring them underneath the eyes, they can give you you a cakey look if you bring them too far underneath the eyes. So I kind of like to leave that to concealer, because concealers are designed to cover areas without leaving a cakey look. Some concealers can give you a cakey look, but they're not typically designed to give you a cakey look when you bring it into fine line areas. I really like to use concealers instead of that, and they typically have like a higher coverage than foundations. I would say the KohGenDo Aqua foundation is more of a medium buildable coverage in certain areas. Most concealers don't go below medium coverage, and a lot of them are full coverage. That's why I like to use concealers instead of bringing the foundation higher. So I'm just gonna blend this in, and then we're gonna move on to the next step. So my next step is to use setting powders, and this is a very important step. If you are a beginner to makeup, you may not know about this step, or you may not do this step. This is extremely important because it increases the longevity of your foundation. I never leave the house with makeup on without having set it with a setting powder. It will not last like an hour into where I'm going, and that's just like the reality of makeup. And even if there was a case that I wore like super duper long wearing makeup, I still would set it, because setting powders have ingredients in them that actually blur the skin and increase the longevity of your foundation. Like I just talked about, they just have so many good things about them that I can't leave the house without them, especially because I do have oily skin. For setting powder today, I'm going to be using the Koh Gen Do Maifanshi natural lighting powder. I don't know if I said that word right, but it's their natural lighting powder. You actually really can see the shade of it. It is one of my favorite shades. It's like that medium tone. It isn't translucent. It has a little bit of a tint to it, and it's perfect for people of my skin tone and a few shades lighter. And a few shades lighter. So I'm going to take this powder and I'm just going to set underneath the eye. And just to like show you kind of a before and after, on this side the skin just looks visibly smoother. It looks more matte. It will last a lot longer than this side over here. You can still see my texture pretty much everywhere over here. It just smooths out everything, and that's why I really love setting powders. It's like one of my favorite products. But base makeup products, like everything that goes on the face, that's pretty much my favorite. I'm like in love with face products. And then after that, I like to go in with bronzer and just warm up the skin, because when you apply foundation, it kind of blurs out the skin and it makes it like a bit flat. So depending on what foundation you use, most of them do kind of just even out the skin. So you want to bring back that life with bronzer, like you can see on this side, like, oh, the cheekbones make them pop. Then I just like to apply it to my chin as well, and then a bit on the forehead. So the next step is to apply highlight, and I like to say that bronzer and highlights, they pair together. So bronzer kind of sinks in your cheekbones, and then highlighter brings out the tops of your cheekbones. So when you use them together, it gives like the perfect combination of the appearance of higher cheekbones. That is why I kind of like to do bronzer first, and then just right on top of the top of where I applied the bronzer, I like to apply the highlights. And then because I like to kind of just even it out and balance the entire face, I'll apply a touch to the chin. And you want to be careful when you apply it to the chin. You don't really have to be as careful when you apply it to the cheekbones, but when you apply it to the chin or when you apply it to the nose, you definitely have to be careful. This is probably why my nose gets oily faster. I'm probably just looking at the highlight, but I like to apply it down the bridge of my nose and on the tip of my nose, and it just gives this really pretty effect. And then the last step for my face makeup, I like to go in with blush, and I do this last because it really just wakes up the makeup even more. It just gives that little final touch. And really for women of color, whenever I do like a makeup class or I'm just giving makeup tips, I love a orange blush. I've said this in a video that I'm going to be releasing probably next week, but orange blush looks good on all types of skin tones. It just really, I don't know, it meshes really well with the brownness of our skin. Favorite blush color is orange, so I like to just apply this to the cheeks, and it just like, look at that, like you can't tell me orange blush is not the bomb. So for lips, I'm going to line my lips with a light brown lip pencil. This is just to define the lips for the gloss we're going to use. Comment below and tell me what the weather's been like where you live, because it's been so cloudy here. We'll get like 2 days of sun and then cloudiness for a week, and then like 2 days of sun. It's like the sun is playing with us. Let me know where you live. Is it sunny? Is it cloudy? Is it rainy? Because it's been raining here too. I just want consistent sun. That's all I want. sun makes me happy. So I have the lip liner on, and I'm just gonna go in with the KohGenDo lip gloss in the shade RD103. Just apply this to the lips. Gonna match my background. This color is one of my favorite color lip glosses. This is even cute for a date night. It's not too bold, but it gives like that really nice flushed lip. To finish off the look, this is one of my favorite setting sprays. It is the KohGenDo Herbal Spa Mist, and I just like to apply this all over the skin, and it gives like the best mist of all the setting sprays that I have. This is my favorite, like the sprayer and the scent. Ooh, I love it. So this is the completed look. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Make sure you check the description box for the new KohGenDo Perfect Foundation Brush. I will have the link and all the information you need to know about this brush. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel as well as check out my previous video, and I promise I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.